Hello or good evening dear viewers of the Berber History and Traditions channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button to see the next video. Today we will tell you about Queen Dihya or Lala KAHINA Al-Kahina Arabic, lit the diviner, also known as Dihya, was a Berber queen of the Aurès and a religious and military leader who led the indigenous resistance to the Muslim conquest of the Maghreb, the region then known as Numidia, notably defeating the Umayyad forces in the Battle of Meskiana, after which it became the undisputed ruler of all of the Maghreb. Before being decisively defeated in the Battle of Tabarka, she was born at the beginning of the 7th century and died towards the end of the 7th century in present-day Algeria. Origins and religion. Her personal name is one of these variations: Dihya, 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 or Damia. Her title has been cited by Arabic language sources as Al-Kahina, the diviner priestess. It was the nickname given to his Muslim opponent because of his alleged ability to foresee the future. She was born in the Ghawazanata tribe at the beginning of the 7th century. For 5 years, she ruled a free Berber state from the Aurès mountains to the oasis of Ghoudaim 695–700 AD. But the Arabs, commanded by Musa bin Nasser, returned with a strong army and defeated it. She fought at the Roman amphitheater in Algeria but was eventually killed in action near a well that still bears her name, Berber al-Kahina in the Aurès. 19th century accounts a vague claim that she was of the Jewish religion or that her tribe were Judaized Berbers. According to al-Maliki, she was accompanied on her travels by an idol. Both Muhammad Talbi and Gabriel Camps interpreted this idol as a Christian icon, either of Christ, the Virgin, or a saint protecting the Queen. Muhammad Hassan Fanter argued that this icon represented a distinct Berber deity, suggesting that it followed traditional Berber religion. However, Dihya being a Christian remains the most likely hypothesis. The idea that the Jarawa were Judaized comes from the medieval historian Ibn Khaldun, who named them among 7 Berber tribes. Hirschberg and Talbi note that Ibn Khaldun seems to have referred to a time before the rise of the later Roman and Byzantine empires, and a little later in the same paragraph seems to say that in Roman times the tribes were Christianized. As early as 1963, Israeli historian H.Z. Hirschberg, by retranslating Ibn Khaldun's text and rigorously reviewing the entire document, questioned this interpretation, and in general the existence of large Jewish Berber tribes at the end of antiquity. In the words of H.Z. Hirschberg, of all known movements of conversion to Judaism and incidents of Judaization, those linked to Berbers and Sudanese in Africa are the least authenticated. Everything that has been written about them is highly questionable. More than 4 centuries after her death, the Tunisian hagiographer al-Maliki seems to have been among the first to declare that she resided in the Aurès mountains. 7 centuries after her death, the pilgrim at Tijani was told that she belonged to the Luwada tribe. When the later historian Ibn Khaldun came to write his account, he placed her in the Jarawa tribe. According to various Muslim sources, Al-Kahinat was the daughter of Tabat, or some say Numidia. These sources depend on tribal genealogies, which were generally concocted for political reasons during the 9th century. Ibn Khaldun records many legends about Dihya. A number of them refer to his long hair or his large size, 2 legendary characteristics of wizards. She is also believed to have had the gift of prophecy, and she had 3 sons, which is characteristic of witches in legends. Even the fact that 2 were hers and 1 was adopted an Arab officer she had captured was an alleged trait of wizards in tales. Another legend claims that in her youth, she supposedly freed her people from a tyrant by agreeing to marry him and then murdering him on their wedding night. Virtually nothing else of his personal life is known. According to whom? Conflicts and legends. Dihya succeeded Qusayla as warlord of the Berber tribes in the 680s and opposed the invading Arab Islamic armies of the Umayyad dynasty. Hazan ibn al-Numan marched from Egypt and captured the main Byzantine city of Carthage and other cities. See Muslim conquest of North Africa. Seeking another enemy to defeat, He was told that the most powerful monarch in North Africa was Queen of the Berbers, Arabic, Malika al-Barbar Dihya, and so marched into Numidia. In 698, the armies met near Meskiana in the present-day province of Umayyad during the Battle of Meskiana or Battle of the Camels in Algeria. Dihya defeated Hasan so well that he fled Africa and locked himself in Cyrenaica, Libya for 4 or 5 years. Realizing the enemy was too powerful and compelled to return, she reportedly embarked on a scorched earth campaign, which would have had little impact on the mountain and desert tribes, but would have cost her crucial support from the local sedentary people of the oases. Instead of discouraging the Arab armies, his desperate decision precipitated defeat. The story of the Kahina is told by a variety of cultures, and each story often offers a different, even contradictory perspective. For example, the story is used to promote feminist beliefs for the Arabs, who they told the story from a perspective that made the Kahina look like a witch, all with the aim of discrediting her. Citation needed. The story of the Kahina was told to paint colonialism in a positive light. Citation needed. The story was told with a message saying that it represented the liberation of the Berbers from the Arabs. Another lesser-known account of Dihya claimed that she was interested in early studies of desert birds. While this view may or may not be plausible, some evidence clarification needed has been recovered from the place of his death, modern-day Algeria. Several fragments of ancient parchment with a painting of a bird on them were found, although there is no way to conclude that the fragments were his. However, it is possible that she began her interest in Libya, as the painting depicted a species of Libyan bird, according to whom defeat and death. Hasan eventually returned and, aided by communications with the captured officer Khalid ben Yazid al-Qaisi adopted by Dihya, defeated her at the Battle of Tabarka, a locality in present-day Tunisia near the Algerian borders of which there are uncertainties. According to some accounts which one Dihya died fighting the invaders, sword in hand. Other accounts who say that she committed suicide by swallowing poison rather than being taken by the enemy. This final act happened in the 690s or 700s, with 703 CE being the most likely year. That year, she was, according to Ibn Khaldun, 127 years old. This is obviously another of the many myths surrounding it. In both cases, she was beheaded and her head returned to the Umayyad Caliph in Damascus as proof of her death. According to many historians who Bagay and Kentrila converted and led the Berber army into Iberia. However, historian Ibn al-Athir says they died with their mother. Legacy. Dihya was adopted as a symbol by women who and was used as a symbol against foreign occupation, and later as a symbol against male hegemony. Indeed, already during the period of French colonization, the Kahina was a model for militant women who fought against the French. During the Kabyle insurrection of 1851 and 1857, women like Lala Fatma Sumer and Lala Khadija bint Belkacem, known as warlords, took Kahina as a model. Also, the French, at the beginning of the 20th century, anxious to francise Algeria by Romanizing its past, established parallels between them and the Romans. Algerian nationalists, seeking instead to attach Algeria to the east, draw the same parallels, but for them Rome and France were colonial powers, responsible for the decline of Phoenician civilization in the past, and of Arab civilization in the present. Both ideologies used the Kahina mythology as a founding myth. On the one hand, it is she who fought the Arabs and Islam to keep Algeria Christian. On the other, she is the one who fought all the invaders, Byzantines or Arabs, to create an independent state. Nowadays, the image of the Kahina is constantly used by Berber militants to show how strong they are as a people and will not be conquered or diminished by other communities. Her face is often seen in graffiti and sculptures across Algeria to show support for the progressive ideals she represents. While her true appearance is still unknown, Artists have depicted her with certain aspects that reinforce the progressive movement she is known to represent. However, not all governments accept the ideals behind the Kahina. A Kahina statue in Bagai has been condemned by the government for blasphemy. The president of the Defense of the Arabic Language declared that the Kahina represented resistance to Islam, and that it should therefore be condemned. See also Umayyad conquest of North Africa, Qusayla colonialism. We have come to the end of this video. I hope you liked it. See you next time.